here, I'm going to show you how to do a 1/3 brick. And the reason why, if you look down that tile, you'll see a hump. If you look on a box, they'll tell you don't do a full brick. You should do a 1/3. So say if it's 24 inches, that's 8 inches. So 8 is 24 inches. So this, you could see there's a bow. So just, eye it and see and lay down a few just to make sure. So as you can see, I'm just eyeing everything, and it's got a bow in it. It's just because it's a different caliber. This would be a C tile, which means the lowest of the caliber. Okay, so there should be an arrow on it. I'm just trying to find that for you. Okay, you see that? There you go. And the reason why you have that arrow is because the first course, you're going to go one direction. So number 1 course, one way. 2 course, the other way. 3rd course, back the other way. 4th course, the other way. So, and the reason why you do that is because there's only multiple of the same pattern. This case, there's probably about 5 or 6 different patterns, and you don't want to hit that same pattern next to each other. So what you're going to want to do is just lay out some first, and just set everything aside. So this is the 1/3 I'm telling you about. Because it's not 12 by 24, I'm going to go 7.5 inches. It's a little bit better than opposed to going 8. The more you go, the more of a hump you're going to have. So stick to 7.5. So that's good right there. And just get your pencil, and you're going to want to mark that 7.5. And then you're going to divide that 7.5 into 2, and that will give you your center mark. And I'll tell you why. Because on each side of the wall, I want an equal cut of tiles on each side of the wall. So just set everything aside and grab your tape measure. Hit the one wall and hit the other wall. Divide that by half, and that will be whatever that will be your center line. So say if it's sorry, my phone's going out there. So yeah, just take the full measurement of that room, one side to the other, and then divide that, calculate that into half. All right. Try that again. Make sure, always double check. It's always good to check multiple times. So we've got our half, and this is what I believe it is. There you go. Divide that by 2, and that'll give you your dimension right there. That your half. Now, I'm going to warn you, this is concrete, so you're going to have to level just a little bit. These concrete guys, they were really good. The concrete in this is, it was pretty amazing. I was kind of shocked. On the back, it was going a little bit sloped down, but that's okay. I corrected everything. So you don't want to hit that mark, that 7.5. You want to divide that 7.5 and hit that mark in between that 7.5. So divide that by 2. And I'll tell you why. If you start on that center line with 7.5, it's not going to work out for you. You're going to have different cuts on each side. It's not going to be equal. I know sometimes it's I'm all over the place when I talk, but just if you can follow me, and you might want to play this video again so you can have a clear view of what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so I'm going to mark that line. And I'm going to grab my chalk line. Before you put your Dieter down, you should make sure you take the calculations from that back wall and have your builder or you and your wife or your better half to get that same dimension from one corner to the front, the other corner to the front. And you check with your tape just to make sure that everything's going to be equal cuts on the back. So we're going to strike that line. Check that. Check that other wall. Make sure we're good. And see if I give you the thumbs up. Sometimes you have to check multiple times, like I said, guys, and just make sure that everything's square in that area. The good news is they're going to use carpet down here. I don't like using carpet reducers. I just use a tile edge because I like the carpet and the tile edge to meet properly. I'm not a big metal fan like a reducer tile edge. So I'm going to just put my square on that back wall, make sure my line is straight. And let you know if everything is nice and square. There we go. These were really good framers, by the way, too. I really like, this is a new builder. He's a great guy, him and his partner. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 7.5, and on the back side we're going to do 7.5, and there's going to be two chalk lines, and that will be my brick. So first course, one line; second course, the second line; and third course, the first line; second course, that second line again. And you should have equal cuts on both sides. Let's just strike that line again. All right. Okay. So just lay out a few, and just to make sure that you're going to be good, and make sure that you're not going to have that bad hump or anything like that. See how I'm starting on that one line for that first course? Either or, you could do it your way. You can start on that other line. It don't matter. Okay, it's always best to lay it out dry. I always use a 1/16. If you see my videos, they're always 1/16 joints. So I wouldn't recommend using a clip wedge unless this floor was self-leveled, because I'm gonna have to strain out just a little bit, guys. When you use the clip wedges, you start to, when your tiles go up, your cement will be kind of like thin on the bottom, and it will fail eventually. Not right away, but eventually it will. This way I level everything as I go along. Your levels are key. So you see how I'm putting my second course on that other line? All right. You can use your spacers in this, but you don't have to for a dry fit. Okay. And I'm just going to make sure that my calculation is going to be proper. I wish I had a little bit more of a wider shot. I should have set my camera back so you could see the other side. There's, in that where I'm measuring, there's a fridge that's going in there, so there's a pocket there. All right, let's see if everything's lined up for that first course as I'm showing you. Okay, take for that first course to the other side and see if it's going to be good. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Anyway, check the second course. And just checking everything. Okay, so you'll have the front a cut and then a bigger cut on the other side. Then the second course, it'd be opposite, equal. You'll kind of see when I do a time lapse. So what I'm doing here is I'm gonna just put my tile on there, the first tile, and I'm gonna chalk line, put my square and chalk line for the first course, just so we are gonna be on that first line, that both of those lines. So we're gonna do a cross line and line going from the back to the front to the back. Just so we don't veer anywhere. I always like to use a pail just to hold down my chalk line. Unfortunately, I don't have 4 hands, so I put on my cheaters over there. All right, just make sure and just take your time with that line. I did a little bit of a time lapse in this as well. Just a short one, guys, just so you get the hang of it and see what I'm talking about. Gauging is, it takes quite a bit of time. So there, once you start learning how to gauge everything, everything becomes so easy. So when I look at a floor, I visualize everything in my head. So it's just years of doing things and mistakes that I've come across. I'm actually doing a hockey player, NHL player. Sometimes I do NHL players, and I've had to call a sales rep and the designer to get to this house. I'm doing 48 by 48 inch tiles, and oh my God, it's bananas. And these tiles are like $200 a piece. It's crazy. So I laid 3 and I had to stop. It's best to stop and have a sales rep for those tiles and say, hey, listen, these are not squared. For $200 a piece, these are not squared. You guys are gonna have to do something about it. Okay, I gave you the go ahead. So this is Ultraflex 2. I use Ultraflex 2 all the time because I've never had a fail, and I use it all the time. It's worked for me for 20 years. So I stick with what works with me. So, and I'm using a half-notch trowel. Make sure it's like a pancake batter. Just a little bit more thicker than a pancake batter. Most of the tile guys always use a half-notch trowel. It's common. So I wouldn't use a 1/4 notch trowel to lay your tiles. I wouldn't use a 3/8. 1/2 inch is always the best. And remember, guys, always back butter. So there's my tile edge, and that's the tile edge I'm talking about. So the carpet will hit nice and proper against that tile edge. All right, make sure you put your level across and front. And just once you get that first course straight, guys, it's so easy to level all the way back. So what I do is I go so far and like 3 or 4 courses, and then I come back the next day. And it's a little bit easier too to do it the next day because you're not, when you're pushing and you're not shifting anything off the lines or anything. As you can see, I put just a little bit more cement than usual. And remember, back butter. And have that level going across and front, going across and in front. You'll always see, sometimes I'll put like 2 or 3 or 4 levels on my projects. It's always, I have OCD, so everything has to be straight with me. I can't live with myself if it's crooked. So that's why I am the way I am. And people say, oh, it's only, no, it's not tiles. This is my business. and I respect the clients, and I don't like cheating on clients or anything like that. I'm very honest about what I do. So, and there you go. You'll start seeing what I'm talking about, like the bigger on the corner and then smaller on the other corner. And then the other side will be to your uh, left will be bigger, and then the other side will be a smaller. Thank you guys. Come back. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.